bottle me and like to get it poppin'. But these bitches in my business cut me off to choosing violence. If you see me out in public, you don't know me, keep it silent. In the bedroom, I be screaming, but outside I keep it quiet. You know,
What's up, guys? This girl Keep back at it again with another freaking thing here, y'all, man. Let's get it. Let's go. Today we are doing episode 2 of Q&A with my cousin slash auntie. Funny story behind that. She really is my cousin, but she had me growing up calling her auntie. Introduce yourself, cousin slash auntie. I am her auntie, Coach Quita D, mental health advocate and certified life coach. Today I will be asking her a total of 15 questions. She don't know what those questions will be. Having a hard time deciding, but we decided to just mix up the questions. So you ready? I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's get straight into the video. Let's go. You ready for your first question? I'm ready. Okay, first question. What's something you wish somebody would have taught you earlier in life?
Always be mindful of you. Growing up the way that I did, I'm a church girl.
Period.
Well, I grew up a church girl. And so with that, the concept of loving your neighbor as yourself. There was more emphasis on loving your neighbor and not the second part as love yourself. It's important that you love yourself so that you can properly love your neighbor. So love you, take care of you, and not just say that as a cliche, walking through the details of that. And that doesn't mean that, you know, in my household, we didn't have conversations that weren't healthy or that shaped who I am, but that whole intentionality of not just being me from a girl into the woman that I am now.
I definitely say love yourself first because, you know, ain't nothing wrong with putting yourself first sometimes in a situation. So I do agree with what you're saying. A lot of times we try to think about others before ourselves, which is good, we're supposed to, but we need to learn how to balance that, you know? We need to learn balance in life. Question number 2. What's a moment that made you realize you were stronger than you thought?
Honey, let me tell you something. I have a now 24-year-old. My daddy used to remind me, he said, girl, you beat the statistics. Like you were a teen parent. It just did dawn on me. He already graduated before doing his thing. The moment I realized my life changed when I had that baby because it no longer became about me. Everything I did from that moment on was very intentional. I knew he wasn't going to always be a baby. I had a certain amount of time to pour into him. What he needed as a foundation as a baby. I started getting my education in line. I started making sure my career path lined up. I made sure that I was pregnant. All the things that I needed to do. And the relationship with his father, making sure that was solid and tight. We weren't together the whole time, but making sure that baby had good parents. In that moment, I realized.
That's right.
I'm that girl,
She
okay?
is answering these questions right now. I think you did a great job. He's my cousin. We dating near the same age, so I feel like you did a wonderful job of raising your son, TJ. And I'm not a parent, but I work with kids. And it's a lot of teaching. Yes. So, great job to you. Props to you.
Yeah, thanks. Shout out to the boy mom. Both like it's easy to raise boys.
Yeah, because my boys are in the class I teach. Majority of boys in my class, they always bad.
Just throw something in there because you said about boys because I'm a boy mom. I will say this about boys. There has to be a lot of intentionality with raising, especially from a woman's point of view. Sometimes things seem to just flow. When it comes to girls, and it's just easy from mother to daughter. But when it comes to son, you have to understand your son, not just who you want him to be, or how you think he should be. You need to pay attention to that child.
Emotional connection is very important. You have that in your ace. All right, next question. You ready? What do you think makes a woman strong? Not physically, but emotionally and spiritually.
What I think makes a woman strong, emotionally and spiritually, being able to be honest with yourself, emotionally and spiritually, right? For me, the God within me, the things that God put in me to be me, influence my emotions. So when I'm honest with myself about the thing that happens outside of that, will also be honest. I think you're strong if you are willing to do the work. You gotta go down in there and find out what you are really feeling and say that to yourself and nobody else out loud. If you won't reveal it, you can't heal it. That's emotionally and spiritually when it comes to being around other people and having people serving you, especially in romantic relationships. But you should just know he needs to use your words, sister. Let that young man know or that older man know. Let people know what it is that you need, right? We have to go back to the very first question. If goes back to what's inside of here. Even the concept of God is right.
Now,
Holy Ghost. You got the
Holy Ghost, y'all. Period. Next question. What's one thing you think people overlook when it comes to happiness?
This might sound redundant, but it's true. This is your choice. Happiness is your responsibility, right? If it makes you happy to eat ice cream on a Friday, sitting on your porch, you can't do it. Ice cream on a Friday on your porch. So I ain't gonna say what I want to say. Baby, if you want to eat ice cream on your porch on Friday, that's what you do. If that's what brings you happiness, if that's what makes you feel better, it's joy, and then you have happiness. Joy is the thing that comes from the inside. No matter what's going on, you still have a positive resolve about life. You still have hope about life. Yeah, you're a believer. You know that there's a greater work happening. So that gives you joy to know that this ain't it. It won't always be like that. But when it comes to happiness, my hair make me happy.
I know that's right.
Like, you gotta call around, everybody asking, do you like this? If I look in the mirror and I say, oh girl, you got
You
it.
don't really care about what other people gotta say. As long as you think you bad. If you feel like you want to look like a bump today, you can look like a bump today. If somebody trying to change the way you look or act like they made you, no, you're your own person, and that's the point of being happy. If it makes you happy, who cares what anybody else thinks?
Happiness comes in moments, right? I was happy when I went to the concert, shout out to Chris Brown. I was happy, you know, from the moment that it happened, how it happened, and the fact that I was in this room with this very talented young man, right?
Yeah.
Chris Brown is amazing. So to be in the room, I was happy about that. I was happy to see him even be in his element, just show up. That made me happy. I love watching people show up for themselves. That makes me happy.
Especially doing something, well, not out of his comfort zone. He's probably used to it now, but I think that's a leap of faith. And look where it got him. Shoot, he rich, living his life. Not just saying.
Being there like mine.
Alright. Hello. Okay, next question. I feel like we're really doing great with these questions. What's up, TikTok? Hello. What's something you thank God for now that you didn't understand back then? That's a good one, huh? He really did give us free will. How he has the grace he has with us. It's crazy.
I'm gonna tell you what that means to me. Freedom and free will. I get to choose happiness, joy, what I want to eat, where I want to go, who I want to deal with, who I don't want to deal with, what job I want to have, how I want to life to look. I get to choose. Even in situations where you may not have total control, I get to choose the perspective that I have about that situation. That's my free will, my choice. I've been a victim in real life. I never want to be that again. When you're a victim, you don't have a choice. I have a choice. A victim, you don't have a choice. When the son says free is free indeed. I can believe what I need to believe, how I want to believe. That's my choice.
Really, that was 24? 23. I'll be 24 on February.
She 20.
Next question, you ready? What do you think separates people who succeed from people who stay stuck? That's a good one. That's like a success question.
Me and my child talked about this earlier today. And it's really the person who sees themselves in the beginning and the end. And action. It's really action. You have a thought. You don't dwell on the thought too long. You put the thought in action. That's simply the difference. We all have thoughts, but if you don't put the thought into action, then it's just a thought. You don't get to that place that the person who put the action in actually get to.
That
Action is the difference, right?
it's consistency. Consistency is key to everything you're doing. Even if you start something, as long as you're consistent and you don't care about views, likes, or whatever, keep going because eventually it's going to take off. There's a lot of streamers, YouTubers, basketball players. There may be basketball players that didn't nobody paid them no mind. Like Ja Morant, storage room, he was in the back of a gym. Nobody was looking at him. It was one scout that took him to change his whole life. So you never know who's watching. Just keep going. If you have a dream, nobody else see the vision. That's all that matters.
Shout out to me.
Hello. And second. All right. What's a mindset shift that changed your whole life?
A mindset shift that changed my whole life. My daddy gave it to me. He said, nothing is as bad as it seems and nothing lasts forever.
That's deep.
I don't even remember what had me in such an uproar for him to tell me this, which proves nothing is as bad as it seems and nothing lasts. So when you get in those moments where it feels like it's too much going on. Life too tight. I ain't gonna survive this. Baby, nothing is as bad as it is, and nothing less bad.
No, that's right. That's fancy.
Shout out to my kid. Follow me on YouTube. It's Marquita Dorsey. Marquita Dorsey. If you search the live room, you ain't gonna find me there. But subscribe.
All right, next question. Next question. What's something you learned from watching other people's mistakes instead of making your own?
Where's the list, man? You know, I think that I learned be where your feet are. Be present for our family. We got some hard-working folks in our family. And
Like, for real, we got some hard-working folks.
sometimes you forget to be present where you are. I use my mama. I was just thinking about her on the way. I use my mama. Like, my mama has survived stroke, like all types of sicknesses, loss of a husband, like so much. And the girl still got the audacity to have a good heart, right?
Yeah,
That's the sweetest thing. But what I know about my mama, there were many times she wasn't present in the moment that she was in. So it was three of us. And for a time, like, she was a single mother. You know, there was a lot of responsibility on her. So she ain't have time to do what I have slow mornings, baby. I love slow mornings. Sometimes I ain't in no rush to get up to where I gotta go. I might fix me some tea. I might just sit down for a minute and take a break. My mama just didn't have that opportunity. So I learned by watching them. Create a life that allows you to at least have fun.
Oh, that's good. Shout out to the teammate. She was there for me in them college days. I'm telling you. She knows like that. I ain't gotta explain too much about the teammates. All right, next question. What's one thing you think every young woman should protect? Her time, her heart, or her confidence?
Have the confidence to protect your time and your heart. How about when you know who you are, when you are confident in who you are, what you have, and even what you don't have, because we're not perfect. There are some things I just don't have, I don't do. But the things that I do have, I'm confident in that. I'm not gonna waste my time with people, places, and things that can't add value. For you,
Hello. Don't waste your time. You feel like that's not the purpose God has for you. Leave it behind. If it's making you feel down, if it's causing confusion, it's not from God. Confusion comes from the enemy. So people, places, and things, if they causing you confusion, that's the enemy. That's not from God. That's when you know you need to separate yourself and go the other way.
don't have the confidence to be able to say, no, not this, or no, that does not serve. You don't have to invest in everybody that actually invest. You have to buy your parachute. Be intentional about who you are. That absolutely helps build your confidence. You are
Well, you
intentional.
know, as long as you know who you are, and God knows who you are, then your confidence will show for itself.
And even in this, it takes confidence. It takes plenty of confidence to do what you're doing at 23 years old. Having that understanding of yourself, having that confidence in yourself, it doesn't allow you to stay stagnant. It doesn't allow you to forfeit your goals. When you have confidence, enough to protect your heart, your time, and
Next question. What do you think the world needs more of today?
it may sound cliche, but love, like for real love, not you do what I say, you do love. Or that other love, if you love love, you don't do nothing if you love love, because that ain't love. But, you know, a lot of times for me, my vision for seeing things like this from a place of fear, that's my child. And because I love him, I want to protect him. I want to do what I can to take care of him. And I also want to respect the fact that he's an adult, so I let him make his own choices and still coach him through whatever he invites me into. That's love. I don't have to control his life. I love him enough to sit back and watch him shape and cultivate his own life. That's what I have. In these family romantic platonic is we can see people who say, not what we want them to be. Spending time with my father, understanding him as a human, as a person, in my day. I love him all the more.
It's deeper. He just amazes me how God understands us, but every human can't understand us the way God does. Like, that's what blows me. Like, that's what really blows me. Like, why can't other humans see us how God sees us? Like, because I feel like people will be around people, but they don't know their true heart. They don't know their true intentions. They don't really know their soul like God do. You know what I'm saying? Some people out there actually do. I just seen something that was talking about if you don't know their soul, you need to learn a person's soul. And by that, it means really dig deep into the person, not for your own selfish desires, but actually get to know the person, understand what they like, understand what they don't like. You know what I'm saying?
But we need love for real. And love also corrects you. Not only does it protect you, but it corrects you. Because I don't want to see you hurt. I don't want to see you make decisions that's going gonna get ahead of my child. I love you enough to say, I'm telling you now, there's a dog down there.
Yes.
Or I could be like, green's just blind. I could go down the street. Well, he just gonna have to learn on his own. There's a dog down there. Now that's inappropriate. Where's appropriate? I'm not gonna let my child go down and get bit by a dog. And I know the dog is down there. And if he goes down there and the dog is down there, guess what I'm gonna say? What did we learn from this situation?
You just let them go on their own. That's how I used to call me stubborn, but it wasn't that. I'd rather learn from my own mistakes. Even though you may tell me you may be right, you may be wrong, who knows? But I'd rather learn myself so I know not to do the same thing over again. You know what I'm saying? So,
and love will let you do that, right? The reason love gets such a bad rap now, most times if you listen real close, when people say you don't love me, it's because you didn't do what I did. When I understand who you are, because I understand who I am, next I'm looking for alignment. I'm looking for alignment to make sure that I ain't trying to control you, you ain't trying to control me. But if we're in alignment, we can coexist in our space with respect, with kindness, with gentleness, with conversation, with intentionality, sharing space, never competing with one another. Because for what? It's
pride. It's all of pride. If we just put our pride to the side, everyone really can. What's a choice that made you grateful for now?
Moving to San Antonio.
Getting out your comfort zone.
Shout out to San Antonio. Texas. When I moved here, I had to become me. I have the core family that I'm very familiar with wasn't here. So there were no crutches, no places to fall back. You had to stand up. Shout out to my cousin. He left me. But in San Antonio, I had to cultivate. I had to get space to be. This is also the first time in my life that it has only been me. Not my child, not my mom, not my, it's just
living your life and figuring out what you want to do.
when I tell you I was scared at first.
Every time I tell people to get out your comfort zone, like it will change your life. Because I feel like people are just stuck in the same process. A lot of our families are stuck in the same process. There's so much more out there in the world. I see them busting their butts. I'm like, y'all could be here making 10 times more than what y'all are making and live comfortably and live out in the country away from city people. So there's so many opportunities. God has a big purpose. That's using me to change others' lives. That's what I'm here for.
The brain looks to what's familiar. We can take hours to break down why it looks the way it looks. It ain't always easy. My daddy was a big advocate in supporting my dreams. Well, when I moved to San Antonio, he was like, you really did it. Like, you really did it.
He wanted you to do that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I was like, you big deal. He was like, you really moved that. It's a big deal. Moving to San Antonio allowed me to spend so much time with me to really understand me. What is it that I like? I got a laundry list of the things I don't like. I spent enough time in my previous life telling people I don't like what I know. This time has been cultivated to what I do. Who I do and how I do. So shout out to San Antonio.
Our San Antonio, y'all. See, San Antonio, people that grew up here is a little different, but people that ain't never been like, kind of got out of the city life, it hits way different for them. So, okay, I like that answer. Next question. How do you keep your faith strong when life gets tough?
Okay, so short. So that'll be a whole nother episode of how I got to where I am. To be able to say, when life gets tough, I'm honest with myself, and I'm honest with the job that I'm leading. You know what I'm saying?
No, I do that. That's how I am. I don't hide nothing from God. Because I'm like, at the end of the day, He knows what we going to do before we do it. So what is the... You can't hide and you can't run from God. He really just looking at you. Already know what you did. Is waiting for you to just be truthful. I don't hide nothing. Everything I feel, everything a person make me feel. If I'm angry, if I'm mad, if I'm in this moment. Even if I say something out of anger, I tell you, I'm sorry, I should have said that. You just got to have that relationship with God where you can talk to Him. He wants us to talk to Him. He didn't make us like robots. If He would have made us like robots, we'll sit around and be doing commands. We all would have been out of there. He gave us free will for a reason. When He created us, we're special because we all made differently. We can talk to Him. We all have different personalities. Gifts, so much to unlock.
The beauty of it, right? On my TikTok, my timeline, deconstructing Christianity is gold. And I'm not afraid of it at this point because I was already in that space. But what deconstructing the traditions of church has done for me, it has allowed me to safely come into the place of oneness. When I get inside of me for real, then I'm one with God. I can't have a relationship with something externally without having one internally. Because if the greater is in me than what's out here, then I'm gonna go out there and get it. It's already being honest. I have very deep conversations out loud. When you use those words, you're manifesting the life that you want to have, that you should have. You're also getting the answers to a lot of the questions that you have. I ask a question in the daytime, God, I need to understand. Please give me the patience. That's mine.
I had time to give me the patience. I'm like, this cannot be your final decision for me. A coworker of mine told me, her mom said, this is just where God may be placing you for the season. It's not forever, it's just probably for the season. So I'm like, I just learned to be grateful. Because, you know, some people don't have certain stuff, so I just learned to be grateful for whatever God gives. You know what I'm saying?
And this is your journey, right? Like, the greatest thing you gotta have bacon on this earth is you. I don't care what you wanna do, where you wanna go.
Even that's, I say to myself all the time, and when the enemy's trying to attack me with thoughts and stuff, I'm like, that's just the enemy. You gotta really study the enemy. You don't gotta study the enemy. You just gotta know when you're being attacked. If you get thoughts like, oh, you're nothing, or this ain't gonna work, no, it's gonna work. I'm walking by faith and not by sight. I'm gonna keep going, even though I'm having a bad day. That's how I motivate myself.
So we wanna transition to the flow space to respond to that. If you hear such a thing, you can talk back and say, whose voice is this? Because a lot of times when we're defending these negative voices, it's not yours. It could be a parent, it could be the high school bully, it could be somebody you used to date. When you hear that negative thought, whose voice is this? Who am I talking to? Because it might not even belong to you. And if it doesn't belong to you,
Fast, but I can buy that may be their own mind.
and if it's in your own mind, we're not all angels and hand-me-downs. This dark stuff picks us off. You'll find out just how red it gets on the inside.
Know your authority too. When you know the authority that God gives you against the enemy, weak. The enemy is really weak. You need permission. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just goes so deep, y'all. I ain't no spit. That's a whole nother conversation. But people just know your authority. All right, next question. We got 2 more questions. What's a value or principle you hope the next generation never loses? Because I'm with the younger generation.
The first thing, the quickest thing that comes to my head is that no man is enough. You don't get where you want by yourself. You out of, like, you had to be wanting to do worry about somebody. You had to live with somebody before you got to the place where you were self-made, to the place where you could afford the life that you're now living. You don't get there alone. And if you decide to walk alone thereafter, you may get where you're going. It can take you long. But if you build community, right? Know who you are and what you're looking for, what you have going on. That way, when you choose people to be a part of this community, they're bringing in what's needed. You know what I'm saying? Please, whatever y'all do, individualism, don't go here. Do whatever work you gotta do.
You always need help.
For example, when I moved back to Memphis the second time, I went to a temp agency. Because I never even knew what a temp agency was. I went to the temp agency to look for a job my second time back in Memphis. The first time I had worked at child support, and they used the same temp agency. I went back and the lady said, I remember you. She referred me to this new organization because she remembered me from the old. You don't get that by yourself. Now, if I hadn't been nobody, okay.
Connection.
Calm down, I could have been looking for a job.
Anything you do, that's why it's great.
I think this is our final question, though.
Yeah, this is our final question. That's why it's right. Every time I try to get
mention the pattern around here. We as hard working as our elders are, but listen, we just doing it different ways. Shout out to the family of content creators.
Shout out to y'all. Keep going. I don't care if nobody else thinks. All right, y'all. Last question. You ready? If God gave you a microphone to speak to the whole room for 30 seconds, what would you say? And by God, I mean Jesus Christ. I love you.
Take this opportunity. Take this chance to make the choice to change. What you're experiencing in your life is not how you want to experience. Take the chance to make the choice to change your life. Be grateful. You're here for a little bit of time. Whatever time you have, make the most of the time that you have. Honor the creator of life by creating more life. And it'll be given unto you. Use what you have. When you leave this earth, leave empty. Because you have served and you have been served with. Love God. Love yourself. Live that life.
So guys, with that being said, the whole message of this episode is trust God. Keep Him first in everything you do. Trust God, trust yourself. It's your key.
And Coach Clea D.
And we supporting my YouTube channel. It shows me that if you just be consistent and you post nonstop, you will gain new followers. And algorithm will read and shout your videos out, and I'm learning a lot. So I just want to thank y'all once again. Like, comment, and subscribe. We are out. Peace. Deuces.
I don't even like to get it poppin', but these bitches in my business cut me off to choosing violence. If you see me out in public, you don't know me, keep it silent. In the bedroom, I be screaming, but outside I get